Hello everyone, Mystic here, and welcome back to Minecraft. Last time, we successfully finished infiltration of the mansion and began the process of burning it down. We also did a bit more progress on the house. We built up the wood planks for the frame of the windows, as well as a very nice looking entrance. This episode I'm mainly thinking I'm doing the house. I want to get most of this house out of the way. So, here we go. My main objective will be to start off, get every set of windows done. Nope. I'm also going to wait for it to turn night so I can sleep. There we go. So if you remember, I pointed out how we will have either windows of 8 blocks, windows of 6 blocks, and then 2 windows of 4. So I'm going to class those as a single window of 8. There's going to be quite a lot of sand needed for this, trust me. For every 8 sets of 8 window, that's a whole stack. So, I'll quickly be back with the fully calculated amount. And I'm back. After doing all the maths, I'm going to need 3 stacks and 18 sand. Or to put it simpler, just over 3 1/4 stacks of sand. So, I'm going to do a bit of sand over here. Then I'm going to head over to that village again, as there should be some stuff over there I can grab, along with maybe even more sand. And just like that, the 3 stacks and 18 sand. If you're questioning how I can tell that this is the right amount, by putting it into solid numbers, I needed a total of 210 sand. All the 60s equal 180, at the 30, 210. Of course, this is going to take a while to smelt, along with it's going to take multiple to smelt. So I'm going to see if I can make myself a few more furnaces. You can also see I broke my shovel by breaking all the sand, so I'm going to make myself a new one. By the looks of it, I can only make 1 furnace. This is why I have a cobble generator. There we go. Going to put away the cobbled deep slate. Going to make the 4th furnace. Go to bed, so then we don't have anything spawn during the night. And these 4 furnaces, each of the stacks will have 8 coal, as 8 coal is needed for a full stack of whatever it is you're smelting. And this one shall have 3, for it would need 3 to smelt 24, 2 to smelt 16. With all the windows now being smelted, let's quickly head on back over to the village that we found a few episodes ago. As you can see, the sugarcane's growing a little bit, but you need to truly have a lot of it if you want to get large values of sugarcane. hopefully it can all grow. And as I will show you, yes, you can clone it on grass and dirt. However, sand has it grow quicker. Not quite sure as to why, but that's the rule. I will meet you all at the village. And we're back at the village. As you can see, there's wheat there, hay bales, but the main thing that I came back here for... Hello, librarian. I don't really care about what you've got in store right now, because what I came for is what you're reading. Thank you for your books. I'll also take your lectern. Now he's a farmer because he doesn't have a lectern, which is what certifies him being a librarian. I do wish I had some fish, because that was a cat. Cats, honestly, are very good. A cat can not take any full damage, which is already a plus. A cat also will scare any creeper away from them. And finally, sometimes during the night, a cat can actually get you items when you go to sleep. So there's a lot of pros to a cat. As you all know, wolves, as well, are another tameable creature, or as quite literally everyone calls them, dogs. That's what they do become, more or less. Okay, I just found an Enderman. I won't think of it. Where was I? Oh yes. A dog is the only one that can actually attack things. If you have a pet dog and you attack a creature, your dog will attack it. The only exception to this is creepers. So, henceforth, it's good to have dogs and cats, for dogs can attack every creature, except for creepers, but cats can scare creepers away. So, with all of that information, I'm going to snag a bell. I'm going to hit one to make all the villagers go in a frenzy. And we're going to head back home. Oh. That's a very important thing that I just caught eye of. That was a bee. So that means there's a hive somewhere nearby. Yep. Beehive. If you're wondering why a beehive is special, it's surprisingly rare to find a beehive. And honey is an amazing food source. It also, though, can be used to make honey blocks, which, with Java Edition, can be used in Redstone to make ginormous moving doors. So, if or when Bedrock acquires the ability to do that, I will most definitely be trying to experiment with that and make some amazingly large doors. But for now, honey only reduces your damage upon falling, or if you land on the side of it, will slow you down and you'll take no fall damage. So yeah. You can also get some wax out of it, some honeycomb beeswax. You can use that to make a few things, but in all honesty, the honey would probably be the better item. Well, anyway, As you can see, with the 13 there, we've got another 12, so that's 4 more bookshelves, which is enough to max out the enchantment table. Let's sleep in the bed to avoid the night. Let's put our bookshelves in here with the others. And I'd like to make just one more bookshelf. Simply because it will look better to have 18 instead of 17. Well, looks like I can make a few spare books. I'll make one of those into a book and quill, and the other one I will use for the demonstration. In order to make a book and quill, obviously you'll need a book, you'll need a quill, or a feather, as that's what a quill actually is. It is a feather that you dip into ink. So it makes sense that the third piece, the one that I wanted to snag there, just to make sure, was an ink sac. Let me just make sure I have feathers. Yep, one feather. We turn all of our sugarcane into paper, all of that into books. We create one bookshelf, one book and quill. The main thing about the book and quill, which I will demonstrate, is you can make a ton of pages. You can also constantly write in them as long as they've not been signed. So essentially, you could have, theoretically, an infinite notebook, which is what most people use the book and quill for, to write down notes and anything of importance. That is exactly how I use the book as well. I use it to write down any key locations and anything that just might have any and every value. Okay, let's see how our glass is doing. It's at 40. While that's still finishing smelting, I think it's best if I move to the next main idea. That being the idea of making a secondary floor. I'm most definitely going to need more normal oak for this plan, because the floor is going to be, once again, normal oak. But there's going to be some alters between the ground floor and the first floor. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm in the UK, so we call the floor literally on the ground floor, while those in America call it the first floor. Nope, did not mean to place that one there. I'm going to just use this bit of wood, then I will cut into any wood that I will be planting for the first floor flooring, ground floor roof, after I've done enough of the glass. For, as you can guess, it's going to take a while. I mean, I've almost already used up all the oak wood I currently own. It's very tedious to make a larger house, but It's honestly nice to do this kind of thing for me. I enjoy making large structures just to see how well my building skills have gotten. Because before, I used to make okay builds. Mainly they'd be square and such, until I would give them a bit of flair. But I'd say they've gotten better for sure. Experimented with larger shapes, more unique shapes, and overall been trying to make my builds as distinctive as I could. There. So as you can see, I've covered about almost half of the house. So I'm going to need to do this. I need 4 sticks, probably would be enough. And I'm going to need a bit of coal. As I'm going to need some torches now for in here. Why would I want torches? Well, even if I live in here, the house can get dark enough to have mobs. Which, of course, I don't want. So, to save myself from that, I plant several torches around, trying to make sure that there is no space that they can spawn. There is the middle, but I can deal with that at a later date. But for now, let's deal with our glass windows. I have all the glass here, but if you notice, you can make different forms of glass. Stained glass, tinted glass. Tinted glass got added in with caves and cliffs, but I'm not going to use that. And then there's glass panes, which, just like glass, will be able to be tinted and will be able to have stained variants. What kind of colour would I want? Well, I've always been a sucker for blue. And as I know every 8 requires 1, I can fairly quickly cut down the amount. However, just going with blue to me doesn't seem the most fun. However, there's something special about bone blocks. You can turn them straight into bone meal. Turn the bone meal into white dye, and the lapis into blue. Now you see, I can make light blue dye. Okay, I really don't need them to be making noise in my ear. So, I'm going to perfectly split all of this glass into half of it being normal blue, half of it being light blue. Which means a stack in 41 of each colour. Gonna wait for the night. I'm also going to stick half of it in there. I'd like to be able to sleep soon, please, game. Okay, while I'm waiting, I'll make all of the normal blue. I could make them into panes, which is what I'm going to do as well. So if you're questioning why did I get myself so much of the glass, it's always good to have spare. You never know if you're going to mess up, and glass is one of the few blocks that you can't normally re-pick up. I say normally because if you own Silk Touch, you can. but only if you own Silk Touch. I should try to be more careful, honestly. Don't accidentally mess up the correlative amount. There we go. Create all of my blue, light blue stain. And create all of the light blue stained panes. And just like that, I have all the glass I want for the windows. So you might be questioning then, what is my design idea for these windows, if I'm going to have two individual colours? Well, I typically like to do patterns that go diagonal. Checkers. Okay, there's most definitely a drown just underneath here. I'm dealing with him. And for all I know, I could get his trident. Nope. No trident. As you can see as well, this is why I wanted to make an entrance. Problem is I made it on the wrong side before I jumped. Here we go though. So, I made this one. So how am I going to make the next one? Well, luckily since the pattern will stay theoretically identical, I can just make all of it the same. That is until I hit Windows of 6. So, as you can see, creating a fairly nice looking pattern. You can still see through it fairly normally. And it honestly matches the aesthetics of how I'm on an island. Now, the thing about why these 6 windows are going to be annoying is the pattern here will be altered. As you can see. However, the pattern will be altered for every 2. The greatest issue is there are 11 sets of the 6. Meaning the pattern's going to be thrown out of balance. However, I do have a plan to fix it. And that's going to come with those 2. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to try and just build all these windows in the pattern naturally. Okay, and we're back. As you can see, by following the pattern, it does end up with the 6 windows on either end here to falter. In this corner up here and down there would have been the dark blue. Well, there and there would have been dark blue, meaning that it would go the other way. Here's how I'm going to resolve this issue. I'm simply going to turn these into solid half and halves. So now either way, both are right and both are wrong. Meaning that you can take either end as an origin point. Actually, no, I'm going to change this. Swap that to be like that. Swap that to be like that. And those 2 right there, very close in the middle, I'm going to make completely separate. How so? Normal glass. You know what? No. Normal glass doesn't have the look. But I can just do tiniest bit of alter. Oh. I apparently let loose the underwater cave here. There we go. Just stop the gargantuan overflow there. And grab that piece of sand. Swap that round for dirt, actually, and then I can put that back. There we go. I don't know how I'm going to fix that, if I will. But now I just need one more piece of coal from in here, and start smelting those. I'll make normal glass panes, and I think it's time to do something special. If you recall seeing it, then you'll understand what I'm doing. There is a pseudo-third blue dye, cyan, which needs blue and cactus green. The issue is, for me, I don't own any cactus green. For I don't own cactus. However, owning cactus shouldn't be too hard if we can locate a desert. As the moment we'd find a desert, we'd find what we're looking after. I also took a bell. Might as well do this now. To act as a front door bell. There we go. So, we're going to go on a hunt for some cactus to make ourselves... Actually, you know what? No. I was thinking we should go ahead and find some cactus, make cyan, to act as a medium. Actually, no. Let's just go with some normal glass panes. While, yes, cyan would have worked as a medium between the two colours to kind of make like a blend where they split, normal glass can take in that position as well. Oh, before I actually go off anyway to a desert, because I still want to find cacti, probably best to put the glass panes away. I'm also doing this to get more oak wood, for the obvious fact of I want to make the floor. Ooh, are you holding a nautilus? Yes, you are holding a nautilus shell. You're my target. Nautilus shell acquired. Oh, there is a baby drowned after me. And honestly, a baby drowned is a lot scarier than a normal drowned, as most baby creatures move way faster. There we go. I'm going to try just running this direction. There's tons of oak. But I'll keep running this direction, and I'll be back if I locate a jungle, a desert, or if I'm just heading back home. With that done, I need to get this fella off my shoulder now, along with got all this wood that I need to use. So to start off, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put away the cocoa beans, sticks, jungle, saplings, put away this torch, I'm going to put away the pick, melon, fire charges, iron nuggets, did not mean to put away the wood. I'm going to put away almost everything. This includes the block of gold that we got. Gonna get myself some food out. Can't sleep yet. Did not mean to. There we go. There. Now you sit down. You sit down. I have now got my 2 parrots. So, you can already tell, because I've said it multiple times, I want a secondary floor. How am I going to make this secondary floor, though, is what's going to be special. Even though I know that it's going to turn night soon, I'm going to quickly grab myself a bit of dark oak. Only 1 tree is going to be needed, as I'm going to do a spiral staircase. Not large fancy ones, because the house wouldn't be able to fit even one of those. But something of the stature needed. And luckily, this is plenty of material. Getting a solid 31 dark oak there. Okay. We are going to need a lot more wood though, for once more we're going to have our bits here starting to rise up higher. So, I intend for the staircase to go here. Let me break that, I don't want that in the way. As such. What will the wood be to make the stairs? Well, I'm going to use some dark oak. If you're questioning as well, then why did I simply put windows here when they are going to be blocked? It's mainly due to how I wanted to keep the pattern flowing. There we go. Now I'm going to do something I see as vital. There. Oh. There we go. You can now see this is blocked. The stairs climb diagonally down. And you can walk up it perfectly fine. Now I'm going to quickly hop outside. I'm going to do a slight bit of build up there so I can correctly see. I'm going to block those 4. And I'm going to block the entire back over here. So now, the stairway is not going to be a bit janky looking. I'll also eventually sort out these bits here, and especially this. But I'd say we've done fairly decently there. We now have windows. We now have a stairway prepared to get to the next floor. I saw the Enderman particles there. Let's finish off this roof. And we have finished the flooring for the second floor, or the ground floor's roof. So, we've got windows. We have got a roof. For the first floor at least, or ground floor. And we've got plans for this floor. Let's, with what remaining wood I have, just begin this process of the secondary floor. Okay. We've got now the start of this too, and I can even go a little extra further. By planting down all of that. And, yeah. Once I finish placing this, that'll be the end for this episode. We did a lot of the house like I wanted. Finally not ignoring the house. And we're going to full on make a nice big house. However, there's going to be something special over here that I'll do, but that's for later on. So, with most of the house being built up, the entirety of this lowest floor now, in my eyes, complete, I'm going to say this is Mystic, and for the next time, we are going to try and do the entirety of this floor in one. See you all next time. Goodbye.